The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A man who inherited a southeast Bexar County property found he got a little too much bang for his buck.
Yeah, the San Antonio bomb squad was called out here to a property on Stewart Road. It's near New Sulphur Springs after the property owner found 20 pounds of commercial explosives.
Our Garrett Berger was out there today just outside the blast zone as it all went off.
At a gas station about 1 3/4 miles away, we waited for the boom, along with passerby Ryan Doyle.
I hope they would blow up something cool, like an old car or something. That'd be nice.
But this wasn't any kind of planned pyrotechnics show. The Bexar County Fire Marshal's office says a man clearing out an inherited property found something that made him clear out. 20 pounds of commercial explosives, likely decades old, sitting in a container in an open field.
Prior to the federal regulation of high explosives, we're talking 50 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, these items were kind of proliferated out into the public.
The San Antonio Police Bomb Squad was called out. They decided to blow the explosives in place.
Man, if it all goes, that's going to be a huge thud. I guarantee you we can hear it from here.
About a dozen surrounding homes were evacuated, and at about 1:30 came the boom. Or more accurately, from our vantage point, it was more like a door slam.
Oh, I missed it. You can't tell me that was it. Oh, there's no way that was it. That was it? Oh, man.
But the bomb squad's not exactly looking to put on a show.
The way that the bomb technicians actually conduct their explosive detonation is made in such a way to lessen the explosive effect of the product that is found out there. So it was by design.
No one was injured, and the fire marshal's office said they don't believe there are any more explosives lying around the property. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
A family's hunch has led to a sad discovery today. They found 2 of their loved ones dead inside of a South Bexar County home. It's in the 15,900 block of Martinez Street near South Flores. Sheriff's investigators say that relatives called them this morning after forcing their way in that home and finding both men in a bedroom dead from gunshot wounds. One man was in his 40s, the other in his 70s. Investigators say that relatives had been trying to reach the men for more than a week now. Deputies searched the home and say they found guns and drug paraphernalia. They're not sure yet whether this was a double murder or perhaps something else.
Happening now, the Uvalde City Council meeting just a day after the newly elected mayor, Cody Smith, announced his resignation due to health issues. The chief of police, Daniel Rodriguez, also set to leave his position at the end of this week. It's a live look at the meeting going on right now. The agenda posted on the city's website shows the council is not expected to address the results of the independent investigation done by Austin area investigator Jesse Prado, something the families of the victims at Robb Elementary have been waiting on. We are live streaming the meeting right now on KSAT.com. We have a wrap up tonight on the Night Beat.
Tonight, we are learning more about the truck driver accused of crashing into a Hayes ISD school bus, killing a 5-year-old boy and another driver. Court records show that Jerry Hernandez failed multiple drug tests and was driving with a prohibited license. The arrest warrant affidavit states that Hernandez's employer, FJM Concrete, failed to look up his drug test records and properly vet him when he was hired. The crash killed 5-year-old Ulysses Montoya and 33-year-old Ryan Wallace. The child was in that school bus that Hernandez hit head on, and the driver was in a car that slammed into the back of the bus. Right now, Hernandez is charged with criminally negligent homicide.
A man accused of killing someone during an argument nearly 3 years ago finally had his trial begin today. In July of 2021, Tavares Anderson was charged with murder after police say he shot and killed Malcolm Everett. It happened at an apartment complex on the northwest side. Anderson's attorney argued the killing was in self-defense. That trial is expected to last till the end of the week. Tonight, the largest egg producer in the country has stopped production at its Texas plant after bird flu was found in the chickens there. Cal-Maine Foods, Inc. says that more than 1 million hens and more than 300,000 baby hens destroyed after bird flu was found in that facility. The plant is located in Palmer County in the Panhandle. The company also says there's no known risk of bird flu for eggs that are already in stores. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, as a matter of fact, says eggs that are properly cooked are safe to eat.
Bird flu has been transmitted to cattle in Texas and now to one person in the state. Right here in San Antonio, researchers at Texas Biomed are working on vaccines for similar strains to the ones that are making news right now. They told our Courtney Friedman the risk to the public is low, and they shared what's being done now to try to prevent a future outbreak.
What these scientists are looking at could one day help create a vaccine for avian flu, meaning bird flu. It's research that's been going on for years, but recent news has perked their ears.
So you really haven't seen it go from the birds to cattle before?
No.
Okay, so that's what's different about this.
Yeah.
Texas biomed scientist Dr. Ahmed El-Sayed has studied influenza for 16 years. He says 3 herds of cattle in the U.S., in Kansas, Michigan, and Texas, have tested positive for avian flu. It was only transmitted to one human, and that was here in Texas.
The public health risk of this virus is still at low level.
El-Sayed says there is risk for the people who work directly with the cattle, but for the general public, there is no need to panic.
Some people saw the headlines about is it getting into the milk?
Or the dairy products, they all pasteurized. And this virus is so sensitive to heat. So heating of the milk products or the cheese will inactivate any existing virus.
He said what people may want to do is avoid raw milk or cheese for the time being. In the meantime, El-Sayed and his team will continue their avian flu vaccine research.
Now, most of the work being done is in a high containment lab that we can't go into right now for safety reasons, but there's a lot of vaccine development work being done right here in this lab, like this fluorescence microscope where you can see what's in these dishes light up here on the screen.
There have been avian flu outbreaks in recent years, so the preparation work is crucial. This new cattle case will add to his research, testing these viruses against current vaccines and new ones they're developing right now. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
We are now less than a week away from the total solar eclipse.
Our KSAT weather team helping you get ready to view it all, and perhaps most importantly, view it safely.
Yeah, you got to have something to do that with.
Got to have it. Let's go out live to Tacos Norteño now, where meteorologist Adam Caskey giving away some Weather Authority eclipse glasses. Adam.
Yes, and we are going to be here until 7 p.m. We've got plenty of glasses. We have a couple hundred left, so we'll be here till 7 p.m. And yeah, we've been coming up with our own little challenges. All right, who can finish their meal the cleanest with the glasses on? And who wants to eat the whole hot pepper? The jalapeno challenge. So we're giving away our eclipse glasses, and this will be until 7 p.m. Tacos Norteño. We're just west of Babcock on Huebner Road. A lot of new businesses around here. This is one of them. Specializing in street tacos and even some mixtures with the ramen as well. You gotta love it when you mix in the ramen and get creative. The all-important eclipse forecast. We have an update. Forecast, rationale, explanation, discussion behind it in a few minutes. We'll get to that and see you then.
All right, thank you, Adam. Happening tomorrow, our KSAT weather team hosting a live stream to tell you everything you need to know ahead of this eclipse. Our meteorologist will show you how to use the interactive map that shows the path of totality, and they'll discuss the latest cloud cover forecast for the day, that all-important forecast. That live stream starts at 7 o'clock. You can watch it on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, or on the KSAT YouTube channel.
Time saver traffic right now. Let's head outside, and this is 410 at Blanco, and you can see traffic very slow going in the westbound lanes, as well as the off-ramp and on-ramp there. Again, this is Loop 410 at Blanco. Also happening later this week, we've got Doc Talk. We're going to take your medical questions to local doctors to get answers. Scan this QR code to send in questions for the doctors. Doc Talk airs every Thursday on the news at 6:30.
Still ahead here today on the news at 6, the total solar eclipse, not just exciting for people visiting South Texas. Coming up, we'll explain how this eclipse is providing some phenomenal research opportunities for scientists right here in San Antonio.
And let's take a quick look outside with live cam. Cool mornings expected throughout the rest of the week. Meteorologist Adam Caskey will have your full forecast after the break. And let's enjoy the blue skies today.
Beautiful.
I'm Patty Santos in Church, where a developer has plans to build hundreds of homes and apartments right here in this lot. problem is. Neighbors across the street, they don't want that. We'll tell you what the problems they see are on the Night Beat.
Less than a week away from that eclipse, we talked a lot about the out-of-towners who will be coming to our area to see totality, but it's also a huge draw for scientists.
Yeah, there are so many research opportunities that will come from the eclipse next week on both a local and a national scale.
Meteorologist Mia Montgomery gives us a sneak peek into what some of that research looks like right here in San Antonio.
This is so cool. I feel like we're in our physics lab.
From the lab to the outdoors and even to outer space, researchers across the nation and right here in the Alamo City are using the total eclipse as a rare opportunity to conduct research.
No matter what part of the astrofield you're in, it's a conglomerate, a big gathering of the science community.
Finest Stribling is a research assistant at UTSA who is currently studying the life cycle of a star and stardust. His studies use light from the sun on a day-to-day basis to figure out what's happening within those stars, and is just one example of the many research opportunities the Stardust Group at UTSA is conducting during the eclipse.
They're doing a lot of things with insects and how insects interact, and we're doing a lot of things for the visually impaired community and how we're using like textiles so they can feel what's going on even though they can't see and things like that.
Across town at the San Antonio Zoo, zookeepers and researchers like Dr. Charles Ritzler will be keeping a close eye on how certain animal species respond to the eclipse.
Because so little is known about how animals react to eclipses housed here in zoos.
Ritzler says there was one previous study done during the 2017 solar eclipse when the path of totality crossed over the Riverbank Zoo in Columbia, South Carolina. Their findings? That animals started to prepare for their end-of-day activities.
Gorillas were seen walking closer to their sort of indoor keeper areas. Elephants were seen getting less active. So that was our hypothesis here at the zoo.
This is the home of the flamingos. Around 1:30 p.m. on April 8th, zookeepers and researchers like Charles are going to be monitoring their behavior to see if they respond to the dimming sky.
And while that's just a taste of the research being conducted locally, the opportunities continue in an even bigger way on a national scale. Enter NASA.
So back in 2017, the sun was in a solar minimum, so it was not as active. But right now we're in a solar maximum.
That solar maximum is one of the reasons why this year's total eclipse is different from the one 7 years ago. NASA chose a handful of experiments to conduct during this year's eclipse, from getting clearer pictures of the sun's corona to figuring out if radio or GPS signals could be affected. Their findings may be used in future NASA missions and space exploration.
And with the next total eclipse not taking place until 2044 in the United States, it's a rare opportunity that connects researchers from all over the nation to those right here in San Antonio. Mia Montgomery, KSAT 12 News.
The animal studies are what I find the most interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool that they're doing something at UTSA for people who are visually impaired, using textiles to help them experience this too. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're wondering, where can I get some cool glasses to maybe help me out with the eclipse?
Yeah.
We got you covered. Tacos Norteño right now. Adam Caskey joins us. And Adam, a pretty good crowd out there and, you know, some glasses to boot.
Yes, glasses, some raffle giveaways, and people are coming through. They're coming in, grabbing a bite to eat, bringing some food home, and getting their glasses and heading out. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be here all the way through 7 o'clock. And I know we had that story about the animals and their reactions. And it's my personal prediction that this year, because totality lasts significantly longer than most total solar eclipses, that I think we're going to see even greater reactions from animals and even insects. You know, some crickets may start coming out, start chirping like, oh, well, it's almost nighttime, right? It's time to chirp, and then get really confused when it gets bright again. It's all about the forecast. All about the forecast. And that's what it all comes down to. We have very quiet weather the next several days. I know. If only this could have fallen over next Monday. But we're not that lucky. Let's get right to our countdown and our updated forecast. We are 6 days away. And as we were talking in the Weather Center today, we can now hone it in more on a type of cloud cover forecast. We still think there's going to be some clouds in the sky. I think that's a slam dunk. But the big question is, what kind of clouds will we have? Because the type of clouds and the level at which they are in the atmosphere, the height above us, will make a big difference. Here's our forecast. 70% chance of a partially blocked total solar eclipse and a 30% chance of a totally blocked eclipse. That would be the rare event that the low clouds take over that day. Here's the situation and the setup. And this is a common weather pattern we see in the springtime. Cut off upper level lows. They're just spinning around, circulating and drifting in the atmosphere. And because they're drifting, they're a lot harder to predict several days out than the big weather systems that are embedded within the main flow. In turn, we frequently see changes in the outlook this far out. But also, this pattern with that southwesterly flow aloft almost always gives us at least high thin cirrus clouds. So I really think some high thin cirrus clouds, which, by the way, are often translucent, so partially blocked eclipse. I think that's pretty much a slam dunk. The big question is going to be, as we get closer to Monday, how many, cirrus clouds, how thick they'll be, and will there be some of the lower clouds? We have to just watch that forecast. I think most of them will be closer to the coast, but of course, we won't be able to hone in on that until closer to the day. Anyway, that's the latest there. Hey, look at today, 55 this morning, 79, the high temperature. Ooh-wee, what a day. And this evening, it's going to feel nice outside. I mean, we'll have less wind, not as breezy, north wind 5 to 10, 62 degrees by 10 o'clock. By midnight, we're at 58 degrees. And tomorrow morning, we're going to be in the mid-upper 40s for a good chunk of our area. We're going to say 48 in San Antonio. Then by the noon hour, we make it to 71. So the sweatshirt at the bus stop can even be short sleeves at recess. And then by the afternoon, shorts and short sleeves at 80 degrees, nothing but sunshine and low humidity. That's the key, low humidity as well. Making it to 81 in Pleasanton tomorrow, 82 Uvalde and Sabinal, along with Hondo. Looking ahead, the rest of this work week, perfect eclipse weather, of course. Of course, perfect eclipse weather this week. But Monday, this weekend, we'll see some changes. Drizzle and sprinkles possible Saturday morning. Just kind of that misty fog action. And then mainly gray. And then Sunday morning, late Saturday night into early Sunday, a brief hit of a few showers or storms possible, then we clear out. And then Monday, we just talked about that forecast. But keep in mind, you need to check back in for updates regarding that cloud cover forecast and the eclipse forecast because of the type of pattern we're in. As I told you, there's always a lot of uncertainty involved. And so we will be fine-tuning it. I know you think, well, with all the technology, you can just, why can't you? The science isn't there, folks. I'm not going to get on my soapbox. We're just here to have a good time. Oh, hi, we can get selfies. Yes. Yeah, we can get selfies. All right, we'll check back in a little bit. We're going to get some selfies.
Oh,
yes.
And he has to eat a jalapeno. Yes,
well,
that's what I want to see.
I would like the video.
Oh, she's going to eat it. Okay, all right.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, the Spurs back in action tonight. They are in the Mile High City.
Yes, taking on.
Should be a tough match.
It should be a tough matchup for sure, but the Denver Nuggets are going to see the reigning Western Conference Rookie of the Month for March. Wemby just putting up some big numbers last month, and Jordan Westberg from right here in the San Antonio area pulled off a first last night in his big league career. Coming up. Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama was named the Western Conference Rookie of the Month for March. This marks his third straight Rookie of the Month honor, making him the first Spurs since Tim Duncan to capture the award 3 months in a row. Wemby appeared in 12 games for the Spurs in March, averaging 21.2 points, 10.5 rebounds, a league-leading 3.83 blocks, and 1.17 steals in 31.7 minutes to lead all rookies in scoring, rebounding, and blocks for the month. And how about this? Spurs point guard Trey Jones is one of 6 finalists for the 2023-24 Sportsmanship Award. He was asked about that during morning shoot-around in Denver.
Yeah, it's really something I've learned since a young age. It's kind of just one of those things that, our coaches at a young age kind of installed into us. My mom was real big on being a good teammate as well, you know, treating others how you want to be treated, one of those type of things. Obviously, being a competitor, sometimes you're in the heat of the moment, and you say things, do things that, you know, you just want the best out of your teammates. It's not always about just being nice. It's about trying to bring out the best in everybody. And so sometimes it's not always just being nice and smiling and everything, but yeah, just having your teammates back.
Spurs will play the Nuggets tonight at 8 without Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and Keldon Johnson due to injuries. All right, there was a questionable call on the Spurs' 117-113 loss to the Warriors Sunday night. Down 3 with seconds to go. Wemby was called for a loose ball foul while going for a rebound. Victor thought he had a board and the Spurs would get the ball back with 3.9 seconds to go. Instead, Draymond Green made 1 or 2 free throws for a 4-point lead to seal the deal. Here's Wemby on that foul.
It's to me, I'm just reaching over to just get the ball. You know, it's not like I'm stepping on the guy or, you know, pushing on him. I'm just reaching for the ball, like I do 4 or 5 times a game. It's not. I mean, yeah, this happens. You know.
If you ask me, I think there was no fouls, but you know, at the end of the day, they did call it, and we didn't have a challenge, so it happens. But you know, I think that it kind of bailed him out a little bit in that play.
And here's why I bring this back. Per the NBA last 2-minute report, they say the call was correct, explaining that Wembanyama extends his left arm over Green's body in an attempt to get to the ball. The contact impeded Green's ability to pursue the rebound. Texas Rangers third baseman Josh Young suffered a fractured right wrist last night in the Rangers' 9-3 win at the Rays. It happened on this pitch in the top of the 9th inning. Young went 3 for 4 with 4 runs batted in, including a 3-run shot. Today, the MacArthur High School great was placed on the 10-day injured list. And staying with San Antonio area baseball players, Baltimore Orioles second baseman Jordan Westburg came up clutch last night with a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 9th inning, his first walk-off home run. Orioles win it 6-4. The New Braunfels alum was sitting fastball, and he got it.
I had a feeling he might try to go back to it after I swung over the curveball and took the next one for a strike, maybe trying to go up with the heater. So I wanted to stay on heater timing, and I got one.
Yeah, throw him the heater, Ricky.
Yeah, you got one.
He got it.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
What was that? We'll be right back.
Major League.
The federal government says it's a good day for the safety of rail workers, rail passengers, and every person who drives over a rail crossing. We have a lot of them in South Texas.
Tonight, Laura Aguirre explains what the government is doing to better protect railroad employees and every community that a freight train passes through.
America's rails are safer today than they were yesterday.
Safer because a new rule requiring at least 2 workers on every train goes into effect Tuesday. A move applauded by DC's Firefighters Association.
When train lengths are approaching 3 miles, relying on just one single crew member is a recipe for disaster.
First responders often rely on rail crew workers to give them critical hazardous cargo or mechanical information when they arrive on scene.
These crew members are the first line of defense until we arrive.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg says last year alone, 7 rail workers were killed while on duty, and nearly 4 dozen suffered major injuries. In February of 2023, a derailed train carrying hazardous materials in East Palestine, Ohio, burned for days, leaving the surrounding communities mired in health, environmental, and political fallout to this day.
More than 1,500 derailments have occurred since the East Palestine incident.
For years, rail industry lobbyists have been successful in pushing back on the 2-worker rule at the state level.
The railroad lobby said the federal government should be the one to make the rule so that there's uniformity across state lines. So here we go.
Additionally, the DOT has conducted thousands of inspections on high-hazard rails and crossings, issued new safety policies related to tanker cars, and improved benefits for many union workers, like paid sick days.
And we are going to keep pressing Congress to pass the Railway Safety Act.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Time now for today's KSAT Q&A. We are joined by San Antonio Mayor Ron Nierenberg to talk about a lot of various topics happening within the city. Mayor, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you. Sorry for the
technical difficulty.
That's all right.
That's all right.
You're here now, and that's what counts. So we got a thing coming our way, this total solar eclipse. We have talked a lot about how towns in the hill country have been preparing for this, but a good chunk of San Antonio is in that path of totality, expected to get a lot more people headed that way. What about preparations for the parts of our city that applies to, especially, you know, the northwest side? Anything like increased patrols or anything as far as emergency management goes?
Now, obviously, we are going to be monitoring throughout the day before and certainly during Monday in terms of the solar eclipse activity. We expect a lot of additional traffic leading up to it. But we really want people to be safe most of all. So we're getting information out mostly about eye safety. Make sure you're wearing certified glasses. If people need glasses for the solar eclipse, they can pick them up at any of our public libraries. We also want to make sure that people have a safe viewing area. So don't be tempted to pull over the side of the road and view the eclipse. Make sure you have a safe location to view the eclipse and get there a little bit early. Of course, again, the most important thing being eye safety. Take care of your eyes. This is hopefully the weather will cooperate. It will be a fun day. But we also want people to be safe.
No concerns, though, about runs on gasoline or, you know, traffic or those kind of things in San Antonio itself.
We don't anticipate that. And certainly we have been through those kinds of social media infused issues before. But we think that, again, if people are just going about their business and making for extra time to get where they need to go, make sure that they are taking care of their own personal safety, we should be quite all right. But obviously, we're going to monitor the situation and just leave for a little bit of extra time for travel to where you're going.
All right, from the Sun to the Spurs right now, Mr. Mayor, I want to talk about the very latest. Obviously, talks ongoing on the possibility of a new home for the Spurs in downtown San Antonio, possibly Hemisphere. I know that there's some movement going on with the Institute of Texan Cultures. What's the very latest that you can tell us on this?
Well, what I can share with you is that we have been engaged by UTSA to help with the ITC situation. In fact, the ITC is going to be at a different location. I think those discussions have moved along quite well. Obviously, this entire community, myself as a fan, but also as a mayor, is very interested in the future of the Spurs. And so we have had some discussions about what the Spurs are looking at in the future. There's a great anticipation, obviously, with the success of the Spurs of recent times, but also where that organization clearly is headed back to the upper echelons of the NBA again. And San Antonio has continued to show itself as the very backbone of the Spurs organization with investments like what we've seen in the Frost Bank Center and then the Rock, which is the state-of-the-art facility and Human Performance Institute. So we're actively engaged in the situation. Nothing to share at this moment, but suffice it to say, we are very interested in making sure that the Spurs are a successful part of San Antonio for the foreseeable future.
If we zoom out a little bit beyond the Spurs, I mean, obviously the Missions have new ownership. They're looking for a baseball stadium somewhere possibly downtown. I mean, is this sort of a downtown-centric vision that you would like to see, that both of these parks move into downtown? I mean, there are cities across the country struggling with how to keep their downtowns viable and revitalized. And I don't think San Antonio necessarily has that problem, but is this a hedge against that in future years?
You know, I wouldn't look at it as a hedge. What I would tell you is that the downtown urban core of any major city, San Antonio included, is extremely important for the quality of life for local residents. And we are viewing all the activity downtown as a very positive thing. As you know, UTSA is building a downtown campus. The Alamo is seeing an incredible redevelopment. There is long-awaited street reconstruction and repair happening. Downtown is a center of economic activity, and it's it's the lifeblood of a city's economy. So when we talk about what some of these major venues are going to be seeing over the next several years. We include, obviously, the convention center, which is a big part of our economy, the activity that's happening at the Alamo Dome. We want to look at this in a comprehensive way. When it comes to major sporting venues, having it nearby and accessible to as many people in the community as possible, i.e. an urban core downtown geography, is extremely important and beneficial. And so if the Spurs are going to be in a different arena in the future, we hope it's going to be in the downtown area. So we're actively engaged in those kinds of conversations conceptually. There's nothing to share at the moment. And that is true of other sporting events and major sports franchises. If there's going to be a new home for the San Antonio Missions, we hope it's in the urban core. We know there has to be a new home for the San Antonio Missions because Major League Baseball has much higher standards than the current Nelson Wolff Stadium currently meets. So a lot of these discussions are ongoing. I have no details to share with you, but I can tell you that we are not sitting on our hands with regard to the future of downtown or the future of our major sporting franchises in the city. And I long have believed that San Antonio's future is very bright when it comes to these major economic indicators like the presence and success of sports in our city. Our city is growing. Our city is diversifying economically. People are choosing to live here and to invest here. And the success and location of sports franchises are a big part of the future of that trajectory.
So as the parts keep moving, we will certainly keep asking about any updates that you can share. I want to talk about some other changes that I know may not be as exciting as baseball and basketball, but charter amendments, changes to the city charter that voters would ultimately have to approve, just as important. So where are we in that process of making those recommended changes?
First, I would just like to emphasize one thing that you said, Myra, because there's a lot of speculation and discussion about the Charter Review Commission. It is any changes that are made to our city charter have to go before voters to approve them. The Charter Review Commission is something that I pulled together by ordinance. I'm required to stand up that Charter Review Commission if there's going to be any reviews of our charter, which they are doing right now. I've asked them to look at a number of things that have come up in conversations over the last several years, including what I think is not a good situation for the future competitiveness and management of delivery of city services, which is a tenure cap and salary cap on our city manager. They're also looking at things like an independent redistricting committee to draw political boundaries, a lot of different aspects. The thing I want to emphasize beyond what you said, which is any change has to be voter approved, is that the things that are currently being speculated on in terms of recommendations are not yet recommendations. The Charter Review Commission is having public meetings, and so all those discussions are being out in the open and people are drawing their own conclusions. But until the Charter Review Commission actually delivers a written set of recommendations to the City Council, which will happen on June 14th, they are just merely conversations and speculation. So anything that you've seen as, well, City Council may consider salaries at certain levels and things like that, that is all speculation. We have to wait till the actual recommendations are made to the City Council. So people can look at what they're discussing through obviously media reports and then the Charter Review Commission website. But I would encourage everyone to be on the lookout starting in June for the actual City Council discussions to begin.
Yeah, nothing set in stone yet. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your time. Always appreciate it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.
We'll be right back. Look outside with live cam. Barely any clouds out there right now. Of course, the big question is for next Monday. What kind of clouds will there be for the total solar eclipse? Either way, we are getting you ready to view it today.
Yeah, Tacos Norteño is where our Adam Caskey is. So you go down there, get some delicious street tacos with the side of eclipse glasses and a forecast.
Yes, and we will have probably a few extras left over. And by few, I mean, like stacks. So we're going to leave them here. And if you come on by and they're still around, even after we leave at 7 p.m., we'll still have some eclipse glasses here for you. The all-important cloud forecast. And Myra said it perfectly. Cloud type forecast. It's going to come down to the specific type of clouds. We're going to get into that in a bit. And Stephen Myra, it's on, baby. It's on.
Oh, jalapeno time.
Look out.
All right. Okay. All right, Minnesota boy. All right, it's the Tacos Norteño off Huebner Road. That's where our Adam Caskey is right now.
Yeah, a little spice in the forecast, looks like.
Oh, yeah, Meyer, you're just taunting me now. You're just taunting me. A little spice in the forecast. And yeah, there is, literally and figuratively. So you can tell they're excited for me to actually do this. Oh, man, we'll get to it. I love the taste of jalapenos. I really do. Just I'm very sensitive to the heat. Anyway, let's get to the cloud cover forecast, and it's all going to come down to cloud type and timing as we get into Monday. Clear skies this week, various clouds rolling through over the weekend. Monday, 6 days away from the total solar eclipse, and if you're sick of hearing about it, tough luck, and you won't hear about it again for the rest of your life, so you don't have to worry, okay? I think it's pretty much a slam dunk. We'll have some clouds in the sky. Right now, I think it really heavily favors high, thin clouds, like those cirrus clouds I always like to talk about because they give us beautiful sunrises and sunsets. You can get breaks in them, and they're often pretty translucent, so you can see the sun through them. There's also a chance of some lower clouds, but the totally blocked eclipse, only a 30% chance for us. That's what we're saying right now. We think it's a 70% chance of a partially obstructed or partially blocked view of the eclipse, but we think right now odds favor still being able to see it. A perfect crystal clear day, 0%. Even this far out, we're just saying 0% on that one. And it's because of this weather pattern. See that upper level lows that'll likely be spinning in Southern California? We see these patterns all the time, this time of year especially. It's guaranteed to throw Pacific moisture our way in the form of at least high, thin clouds overhead. Stay tuned, on air, online, on the KSAT Weather Authority app, and we'll keep you updated. All right, temperatures this evening falling through the 60s, 50s, and tomorrow morning we're in the upper 40s. By the afternoon, warmer. So sweatshirt in the morning. By the afternoon, we're up to 80 degrees for the high temperature. Nothing but sunshine, beautiful conditions. As we get into the weekend, humidity returns a little on Saturday. Morning fog and drizzle Saturday. Early Sunday morning in the pre-dawn hours, we'll have a few showers and storms possible. Otherwise, pretty much a dry weekend. All right, here we go. Diana, you going to join me?
Challenge. This is not easy, folks. It takes a lot of guts and, well...
It's all for the glory.
All for the glory.
Cheers!
Cheers! All right.
Wow.
Well, that's really
Look at her
good.
go.
Wow. Yeah.
They're really good. Oh, getting hot, though. Getting hot.
There it
All
is.
right, now it's setting
There's
in.
a kick.
Yeah, I like it.
Get him some milk.
Nicely done.
Get him some milk.
Nicely done.
The funny part of that is you could tell when it kicked in.
When it hit.
His eyes just went, whoa, there's the heat. That's great. We got the buzz coming up next. While many kids were on the lookout for the Easter bunny over the weekend, this bunny was very easy to spot. This is Joplin, Missouri. This is Willow, a 15-pound Flemish giant bunny. Its owner says the bunny serves as a therapy animal, helping people at nursing homes, hospitals, and schools.
It's also a stand-in for the Easter Bunny. Willow has a Facebook page called The Adventures of Willow Bunny with posts written from her perspective. Her favorite treat? It's not carrots. That bunny loves bananas.
Really?
Apparently so.
I would have gone with the carrots.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, 15-pound bunny, I'm not going to argue with it. All right, a teenager in Iowa has turned his passion for computer repair into compassion for refugees. 16-year-old Katir Kalyani Rahman refurbishes old computers donated by businesses and individuals, gives them away to refugees from all over the world.
He does it through a nonprofit that he set up called Tech Gift. So far, he's given away more than 370 computers, and one of them went to a Ukrainian refugee in Iowa who used it to get her nursing assistant certification.
Way to go.
Yeah, pretty cool. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching.
See you at 10.